The world is a vast and mysterious place, filled with stories that defy explanation and haunt our collective imagination. One such story is the chilling disappearance of Brandon Swanson, a case that has left investigators and the public alike scratching their heads for over a decade. But before we dive into the perplexing details of that fateful night, let's set the stage with a broader look at the phenomenon of vanishing people. Every year, thousands of individuals disappear without a trace, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and broken hearts. In this video, we'll explore some of the most baffling cases of disappearances, starting with Brandon Swanson. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown, where the line between reality and the inexplicable blurs. To truly understand the enigma of Brandon Swanson's disappearance, we need to rewind to that fateful night and piece together the events leading up to his vanishing. It was May 13th, 2008, and Brandon had spent the evening celebrating the end of the school year with friends. The night was filled with laughter, camaraderie, and the excitement of a summer filled with possibilities. As the party drew to a close, Brandon said his goodbyes and got into his car, ready to head home. The journey should have been a straightforward one, but fate had other plans. Brandon found himself on an unfamiliar gravel road in rural Minnesota, a place where the night seemed darker and the silence more profound. His car veered off the road, landing in a ditch. Though unharmed, Brandon was now stranded in an area devoid of landmarks and difficult to navigate even in daylight. At 1:54 a.m., Brandon called his parents, Brian and Annette Swanson. His voice was shaky, filled with uncertainty. "Dad, I don't know where I am. I can see some lights in the distance, but nothing looks familiar," he said, his breath quickening. Brian tried to soothe him, urging him to stay put and describing their own surroundings in hopes of finding a match. But the situation grew more dire. "I'm walking towards the lights," Brandon said, his steps audible through the phone. "I think I can make it there." Brian and Annette exchanged worried glances, knowing the dangers of walking alone at night in such remote areas. Minutes passed, and Brandon's voice grew more frantic. "I see a fence," he said, his words laced with desperation. "I think I'm near a field." Brian instructed him to stay on the line, to keep talking, to help them find him. The tension was unbearable. Then, at 2:23 a.m., the unthinkable happened. Brandon's voice changed, a sudden shift from uncertainty to sheer terror. "Oh shit," he exclaimed, the raw fear in his voice sending chills down his father's spine. The call cut off abruptly, leaving Brian and Annette in a state of panic. They tried calling back, again and again, but there was no response. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the frantic urgency of just moments before. Brian and Annette continued to drive around, shouting Brandon's name into the void, but it was as if he had vanished into thin air. The next morning, the search for Brandon intensified. Friends, family, and volunteers joined forces, combing the area inch by inch. Helicopters hovered overhead, and search dogs were brought in to trace his scent. But despite their best efforts, there was no sign of Brandon Swanson. Theories began to circulate. Had he fallen into the nearby Yellow Medicine River? Had he met with foul play? Or had he simply walked away, lost in the vast rural landscape? Each possibility offered more questions than answers, deepening the mystery of that fateful night. As we continue to explore the haunting disappearance of Brandon Swanson, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the thin line that separates the known from the unknown. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, the Swanson family's sense of urgency grew even more intense. Brian and Annette, along with a small group of friends and neighbors, had spent the entire night scouring the countryside, calling out Brandon's name, but to no avail. The realization that they needed more help set in, and they quickly contacted local authorities. By mid-morning, the search had escalated into a full-scale operation. Law enforcement, search and rescue teams, and volunteers from the local community joined forces, determined to find any trace of Brandon. The area was meticulously divided into search grids, and teams were dispatched to cover every possible inch of the surrounding fields, woods, and waterways. Helicopters equipped with thermal imaging flew overhead, scanning the landscape for any signs of life. On the ground, search dogs sniffed their way through dense underbrush, following any scent trails that might lead to Brandon. The atmosphere was a mix of hope and dread, as every new piece of information brought a fleeting glimmer of optimism, only to be dashed by the relentless uncertainty. Local news outlets began to pick up the story, and soon, the entire community was rallying around the Swanson family. Flyers with Brandon's photo and description were distributed far and wide, and social media buzzed with updates and pleas for information. Despite the extensive efforts, the search yielded no concrete clues. The fence Brandon had mentioned in his last phone call was found, but it offered no additional hints. The lights he had seen in the distance remained a mystery, as did the field he had described. It was as if Brandon had vanished into thin air. As the days turned into weeks, the initial wave of volunteers began to dwindle, but the core search teams pressed on. They explored every lead, no matter how small or improbable. Psychic mediums were consulted, and extensive background checks were conducted on anyone who might have had even a remote connection to Brandon. Yet, each potential lead ended in a frustrating dead end. The Swanson family, though exhausted and heartbroken, refused to give up. Their home became a central hub for the search efforts, with maps, charts, and timelines covering every wall. They clung to the hope that Brandon was still out there, somewhere, waiting to be found. The search for Brandon Swanson was far from over. It was clear that this was no ordinary disappearance, and the questions surrounding his fate only grew more pressing. What had happened to Brandon that night? Where had he gone, and why had he not been found? The mystery deepened, and the search for answers continued. As we move forward, we will explore the various theories and developments that have emerged in the years since Brandon's disappearance. As the days turned into weeks and the initial search efforts began to wane, some unsettling clues and theories started to emerge, adding more layers of complexity to Brandon Swanson's disappearance. One of the first clues that investigators found was Brandon's abandoned car. It was located in a ditch along a gravel road, not far from where Brandon had last communicated with his parents. The car itself was in good condition, with no signs of a struggle or forced entry. This only deepened the mystery. Why had Brandon left his car and ventured into the night? Another puzzling detail was the location Brandon described to his parents on the phone. He mentioned seeing lights, possibly from the town of Lind, but the area where his car was found was not consistent with his description. Was Brandon disoriented, or was he possibly somewhere else when he made that call? Then, there were the theories. Some believed that Brandon had accidentally fallen into the Yellow Medicine River, which was nearby. Despite extensive searches, including divers combing through the river, no evidence was found to support this. Others suggested foul play, theorizing that Brandon may have encountered someone with ill intentions. However, there were no signs of a struggle or any other evidence to support this either. Psychic mediums were consulted, offering various and often contradictory insights. Some claimed that Brandon was still alive and being held against his will, while others suggested he had met with a tragic accident. These consultations, while providing some hope, ultimately led to more questions than answers. There was also the possibility that Brandon had simply become disoriented and wandered off into the vast rural landscape. The area was known for its tricky terrain and lack of landmarks, making it easy for someone to lose their way. But if Brandon had succumbed to the elements, why was there no trace of him? As new theories emerged, each more perplexing than the last, the Swanson family clung to the hope that one day, the truth would come to light. They continued to disseminate information, keeping Brandon's case in the public eye and urging anyone with information to come forward. The case of Brandon Swanson remains one of the most baffling disappearances in recent history, filled with unsettling clues and theories that defy easy explanation. As we delve deeper into this haunting mystery, we continue to seek the truth behind what really happened to Brandon that fateful night. As we delve deeper into Brandon Swanson's mysterious disappearance, it's crucial to examine the various theories that have emerged over the years. Each theory offers a different perspective, providing possible explanations that range from the plausible to the downright eerie. One of the most widely discussed theories is that Brandon may have fallen into the Yellow Medicine River. Given the proximity of the river to where his car was found, it's a logical assumption. But despite extensive searches, including divers scouring the riverbed, no evidence has ever been found to support this theory. Could Brandon have been swept away, leaving no trace behind? Or did something else happen that night? Another theory suggests that Brandon may have met with foul play. The rural area where his car was found isn't bustling with activity, but it's not entirely deserted either. Some speculate that he might have encountered someone with ill intentions. Yet, the lack of evidence, no signs of a struggle, no suspicious footprints or items left behind, makes this theory difficult to prove. Was there an unknown assailant lurking in the darkness, or is this just another dead end? Then there's the possibility that Brandon became disoriented and wandered off into the night. The rural landscape of Minnesota can be unforgiving, especially in the dark. It's conceivable that Brandon could have succumbed to the elements, lost in the vast expanse of farmland and woods. But again, the question remains. Why was there no trace of him? No clothing, no personal items, nothing to indicate where he might have gone. One of the more unsettling theories involves the idea that Brandon could have been abducted. Some believe that he might have been taken against his will, possibly even held captive somewhere. This theory, while chilling, lacks concrete evidence and remains in the realm of speculation. Could Brandon still be out there somewhere, alive but unable to return home? Psychic mediums have also weighed in over the years, offering various and often conflicting insights. Some claim that Brandon is still alive, while others suggest he met with a tragic accident. These consultations, while providing some hope, often lead to more questions than answers. As we explore these theories, it's important to remember that they're just that. Theories. Each one offers a possible explanation, but none have provided the definitive answers that Brandon's family and friends so desperately seek. The mystery of Brandon Swanson's disappearance continues to baffle investigators and haunt those who knew him. As the days turned into weeks, the search for Brandon Swanson intensified. The community of Lind, along with law enforcement and countless volunteers, rallied together in a desperate effort to find any clue that might lead them to Brandon. The Swanson family, filled with a mix of hope and dread, watched as search teams combed through miles of farmland, dense woods, and treacherous riverbanks. Search dogs were brought in, their keen senses scouring the area for any hint of Brandon's scent. Helicopters flew overhead, using thermal imaging to detect any signs of life or remains. The Yellow Medicine River was searched multiple times by divers, who braved the cold, murky waters in the hopes of finding some trace of the missing teenager. But, despite their tireless efforts, each search ended in frustration and heartbreak. In addition to physical searches, digital avenues were also explored. Cell phone records were meticulously examined, mapping out the last known locations of Brandon's calls. Social media was scoured for any potential leads, and psychic mediums were even consulted, offering their own unique insights into Brandon's fate. Yet each path seemed to lead to a dead end. The Swanson family never gave up. They held vigils, distributed flyers, and kept Brandon's story in the public eye, hoping that someone, somewhere, might hold the key to solving this mystery. The search efforts not only highlighted the determination and resilience of Brandon's family and community, but also underscored the profound impact his disappearance had on everyone involved. As we continue to delve deeper into this case, we must remember the tireless efforts of those who have spent countless hours searching for answers. Their dedication serves as a testament to the love and hope that still surrounds Brandon Swanson, even years after his disappearance. The disappearance of Brandon Swanson has left an indelible mark not only on his family, but also on the entire community of Lind. For the Swanson family, life has been a roller coaster of emotions, hope, despair, frustration, and an unyielding resolve to find their son. They have faced countless sleepless nights, haunted by the uncertainty of Brandon's fate. Annette Swanson, Brandon's mother, has often spoken about the emotional toll it has taken on her and her family. The not knowing, she says, is the hardest part. The endless questions and the lack of answers have created a void that nothing can fill. For the community, Brandon's disappearance served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictability of fate. The people of Lind banded together in an extraordinary show of solidarity, turning out in droves to help search for Brandon. Candlelight vigils were held, where prayers were said and stories about Brandon were shared. His friends and classmates, who once shared laughter and dreams with him, found themselves grappling with the harsh reality of his absence. Local businesses displayed posters and flyers, keeping Brandon's face and story in the public eye. The community's support extended beyond just physical efforts. They provided emotional and financial support to the Swanson family, helping them cope with the ongoing search and its associated costs. The disappearance also prompted discussions about safety and awareness, leading to community initiatives aimed at preventing such tragedies in the future. The emotional impact on both the Swanson family and the community is profound and lasting. Each year, on the anniversary of Brandon's disappearance, the community comes together to remember him, to renew their commitment to finding answers, and to support one another in their shared grief. The story of Brandon Swanson is not just a mystery. It is a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of a family and a community, united by love and hope. As the years have passed, the case of Brandon Swanson's disappearance remains as enigmatic as ever. Despite extensive search efforts, numerous investigations, and the unwavering determination of his family and community, the mystery endures. In the years following his disappearance, the Swanson family has worked tirelessly to keep Brandon's case in the public eye. They have appeared on numerous television programs, participated in podcasts, and given countless interviews, all in the hopes of uncovering new leads. Their efforts have not gone unnoticed. Brandon's story has touched the hearts of many, and his case has garnered national attention. Law enforcement agencies, too, have remained committed to solving this case. The Lyon County Sheriff's Office has continued to investigate any new tips or leads that come in, no matter how small. They have revisited old evidence, re-interviewed witnesses, and collaborated with other agencies to explore every possible angle. However, despite their best efforts, the case remains cold. One of the most significant developments in recent years has been the use of advanced technology in the investigation. Forensic experts have employed ground-penetrating radar and other cutting-edge tools to search for any signs of Brandon. Additionally, social media and online communities have played a crucial role in keeping the case alive, with people from all over the world sharing information and theories. The Swanson family continues to hold on to hope, believing that one day, the truth will come to light. They have established the Brandon Swanson Scholarship Fund in his memory, helping other young people achieve their educational goals. This act of kindness and generosity serves as a testament to their enduring love for their son. Each year, on the anniversary of Brandon's disappearance, the community of Lind comes together to remember him. They hold vigils, share stories, and renew their commitment to finding answers. These gatherings are a poignant reminder of the impact Brandon had on those who knew him, and the lasting legacy he has left behind. The case of Brandon Swanson is a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of hope. As we continue to search for answers, we must remember the importance of community, resilience, and never giving up on those we love. As we reflect on the haunting disappearance of Brandon Swanson, we're reminded of the enduring mysteries that continue to captivate and confound us. The unanswered questions, the eerie circumstances, and the relentless search for the truth all contribute to a story that is both heartbreaking and compelling. Brandon's case is a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictable nature of our world. It challenges us to confront our deepest fears and to hold on to hope even in the face of overwhelming uncertainty. The dedication of his family, the tireless efforts of law enforcement, and the support of the community all underscore the human capacity for resilience and compassion. While we may never fully understand what happened to Brandon, his story serves as a powerful testament to the enduring power of love and the unyielding quest for answers. It is a call to action for all of us to remain vigilant, to support one another, and to never give up on the search for truth. As we continue to explore the mysteries of our world, let us remember Brandon Swanson and the countless others who have vanished without a trace. Their stories are a poignant reminder of the importance of community, resilience, and the unbreakable bond of family. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you have any thoughts or theories about Brandon's disappearance, please share them in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories and unsolved mysteries. Together, we can keep these stories alive and continue the search for answers. Stay tuned for more as we delve deeper into the haunting disappearance of Brandon Swanson